I refused to go back to being goth for my boyfriend after he gave me an ultimatum. When I met my boyfriend Jake a year and a half ago, I was full goth. I'm talking white foundation, teased black hair that looked like a bird's nest, thick black eyeliner, and platform boots so tall I could barely walk. I loved the look, and Jake was totally obsessed with it. He'd constantly tell me how cool I looked and how he'd never met anyone like me. He'd take pictures of my outfits and brag to his friends about having a goth girlfriend. I thought it was sweet that he appreciated my style so much. But then I started beauty school 6 months ago, and everything changed. Learning about makeup techniques and color theory opened up this whole new world for me. I started experimenting with different looks during practice sessions. The first thing I did was grow out my bangs to make them more feathery instead of that harsh, straight-across cut. Then I started playing with colorful eyeshadows instead of just black everything. I tried this gorgeous purple and blue look that made my eyes pop. Everyone at school kept telling me how much happier and prettier I looked. Even my mom said I was glowing. I felt amazing, like I was finally finding who I really was underneath all that black makeup. But Jake hated it. The first time I came home with softer makeup, he immediately asked why I looked different. When I showed him the new techniques I learned, he just frowned and said he preferred my old look. Then it got worse. Every single day, he'd make comments about my appearance. If I wore a pink lipstick, he'd say, "That's not really you." If I did a natural eye look, he'd go, "You look so boring now." He started bringing up our early dates constantly, saying things like, "Remember when you used to dress cool?" Or, "I miss when you actually had style." It was like he thought I'd turned into some basic girl just because I wasn't wearing white foundation anymore. The arguments became a daily thing. He'd compare every outfit to how I used to dress. If I wore jeans and a normal top, he'd pull out his phone and show me old pictures of us where I'm wearing all black with chains and boots. Last week, he actually bought me a bunch of goth clothes and left them on my bed with a note that said, "For when you're ready to be yourself again." I was so hurt. This wasn't about changing who I was inside. It was just about exploring different ways to express myself. I tried explaining that I was still the same person, just with different makeup. I still listened to the same music, had the same opinions, and thought the same way about everything. The only thing that changed was how I looked. But Jake didn't care. He kept saying I looked like every other girl now, and that he fell in love with someone who stood out from the crowd. He made it sound like I'd betrayed him by learning new makeup skills. The final straw came 3 days ago. I'd done this really pretty look with soft pink tones and natural-looking lashes for a beauty school presentation. I felt confident and beautiful. When I got home, Jake took one look at me and completely lost it. He said he couldn't take it anymore and that I needed to make a choice. Either I go back to my old goth style permanently, or he was breaking up with me. He actually said, "I don't want to date some random girl who looks like everyone else. I want my goth girlfriend back, or I want nothing at all." I stared at him for a minute, then realized how crazy this whole situation was. He was trying to control how I looked and threatening to leave me if I didn't dress the way he wanted. So I told him to pack his stuff. If he only loved me for my appearance and couldn't handle me growing as a person, then he never really loved me at all. Jake tried to backtrack and said he was just joking, but I was done. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not just to keep a boyfriend happy.